Go on with the dining room. Okay. I think this is the quietest I've ever been in my life. Hi, I'm Tash. I first started experimenting with colour when I bought my first flat, and I realised I could bring my own personality into the space. I'm now the director of interior design at Lick. Welcome to the painting series with B&Q, and today's episode we are going to be discussing how to paint your ceiling. How cool is this? We've created this set to show you how epic it is when you add a colour to your ceiling. I want you to look at your ceiling as your fifth wall. It's such a large area that it deserves attention. By painting it in a colour, you can alter the proportion size of a room, which is perfect if you've got a dining space like this and you want to create a bit of a mood. I know it's a bold choice, but trust me, it's worth it. So I've chosen to do a painted ceiling in the dining room, and this is why it's really important that you do a mood board, because I want you to do a darker colour. I've chosen Purple 03 to bring in that really cozy feel to this space. I know what you're thinking, you're like, okay, that's quite strong. But this is why I want you to do a mood board. Bring it down to the picture rail, if you've got one, and then you bring in a paler colour below it and on all the woodwork. So I've gone for Pink 01, which is an analogous colour scheme. So the colours sit next to each other on the colour wheel. If you are feeling a bit daunted about the purple, once you start layering all these other textures and tones, that purple lifts. It doesn't feel so heavy. These other soft, warm tones of pink with the warm undertoned floor. And to balance it out, I'd recommend that you go for a chrome fixture. If purple is not your vibe and you want to create a dining room that's a little bit more airy, here's some really great examples. Anything warm, so your orange, pink, purple, and yellow will bring the ceiling height down. If you go for a blue, go for a complementary white with a yellow undertone. And if you go for one of the warmer tones, I like white 06 that has a pink undertone to it. Painting your ceiling is a great way to highlight any period features that you have. So that's whether you've got a ceiling rose or a picture rail. If you don't have those, you can pick them up at B&Q so you can bring that character into your dining room. We have already painted the wall and the skirting behind us. Now, you are always drawn to the lightest part of the room. So at the moment as this room stands, your eye will be drawn to the ceiling and the window. We don't want that. We want the focal point to be the dining table. So I'm going to paint the window in the same color as the walls. So it's going to go Pink 01 to disguise it and blend it in. And now we're obviously going to be painting the ceiling. We're going to use a picture rail and add some character. You want to bring it down 30 centimeters and apply it here. But you can do exactly the same with masking tape if you don't want to use a picture rail. This ceiling is 9 meters squared. We always want to do 2 coats, so that's 18 meters. I'm bringing the color down, so you want to factor that in as well. 1 tin would be plenty for this room. I'm also going to look at doing this in our matte finish, so it makes a really soft, calming environment, perfect for a dining room. So let's now go to B&Q and we're going to get all of the supplies. If you're decorating your ceiling, get yourself one of these poles. You can screw or roll it right into the top of it. So get yourself some goggles. You probably don't need these if you're painting the walls, but if you're painting the ceiling, you get tiny little flecks of paint, so this just protects your eyes. And what else do we need, team? We've chosen Purple 03 to go onto the ceiling. I would always recommend our matte finish. It's got that 5% sheen, so it'll give you that flawless finish. If you're doing any painting, especially your ceiling, please get a dust sheet, protects all your furniture, protects your floor, just don't risk it. %90 of decorating is in the prep work. So the first thing you want to do, we put down our eco dust sheet. Because we are painting the ceiling, you will get little splatters of paint. So you want to protect your floor, any furniture that you've got. And here is our painted window. We've done it in the Pinko one. It's blended in. It looks so much better. Now onto applying the picture rail. I've used a spirit level just to make sure it is the even height. I've added the adhesive onto the back, which will stick down the wood. And then you just want to slot it into place. Push, and you're good to go. Hey, when it comes to prepping your ceiling, grab yourself a ladder, 3 points of contact at all times. Now, look at your ceiling and see if there's any like paint blobbles up there. Give those a light sand. Grab yourself your glasses and your mask. And then finally, you might get some cobwebs in the corner. You want to make sure it's super clean so that the paint looks flawless once you've applied it. You're going to be painting the picture rail in the ceiling color, so just tape below it. When you get to your window frame, you want to carry on the picture rail going across, so all the way along this line, and then we can add some color. This is one of my favorite colors to show you. As you can see here, it's that deep, moody plum color that's just gonna look so atmospheric on the ceiling, especially under like candlelight and artificial light in the evening. First thing that you want to do is get yourself a cutting in brush. That's the one at the slight angled edge. And then go along the coving and your ceiling rose. Also go along the picture rail on the window frame as well. And then we get the big roller to finish the job off. Now, key to this, by the way, is to not over-roll like too much thick paint on your roller. And there's a technique when it comes to painting the ceiling. Your first coat, you want to go against the natural light coming in. And then for your second coat, you want to go with the natural light. That makes sure that there is no streaks, and then you get that perfect finish. Now, you are going to remove your masking tape when it's still just slightly wet. And you get that crisp line. Remember, if you've got a little bit of paint that's bled into the wall, just get a little fine paintbrush and touch up with the Pinko one. I'm so pleased with this. It's a great example to show you how you need to think about everything in the room. Not just your paint colors. You need to think about what styling and what furniture you're bringing in, because that's all going to play into that mood that you want to create. So for this dining room, we wanted it to be intimate. So we went for the Purple 03, which is that luxury rich tone, paired with the Pink 01. That is casting this gorgeous glow over the table. When you think of a dining area, you are thinking it's probably going to be used in the evening time. So artificial light is so important. Having this statement pendant over the dining table with all these different candles, I want to sit around this table. Now, finally, thinking about your glassware pictures, bringing in other textures is key. We've got the lamp over there in the corner to light up that side of the room. And always, if you can, bring in some real flowers, real plants, and that is going to finish off the space. I know this seems like a less traditional choice. However, I'm hoping by this episode, this is going to give you the confidence to paint your ceiling. I hope that this has inspired you. We have listed all of the products and the tools that we've used on the set in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to tune in to the rest of the painting series.